MacGuffin reviews. Polar, 2019, with spoilers. Spoiler warning. I'm going to talk about the plot of this, and I'm going to probably spoil it, so go and watch it and come back. This is available on Netflix. It's from 2019. It's 2 hours long. It's directed by Jonas Åkerlund, and he also directed Lords of Chaos. And he's a music video director, and he's done videos for Madonna, Ozzy Osbourne, U2, Keisha, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Rammstein, Rolling Stones. So obviously, he must be top of his game here at music videos. And he's gone into the movie territory, and he does a good job here. This looks really well. Some great scenes shot really well, great action scenes, and he's done a good job here, very good job. And what we have here is a movie based on Polar Came In From the Cold. And I haven't read the graphic novel, so I'm just going to take this on face value, and I can't compare it to the graphic novel. So I just... I enjoyed this. Mads Mikkelsen plays Duncan Visla. The Black Kaiser is his name in this. He's retiring, and he's got a nice pension, but the company he works for, Damocles, doesn't want to pay his pension. They want to keep it and use it to pay back debts they owe, and they're doing it to all their operatives that are due for retirement. They're taking them out and stealing their money. Mads Mikkelsen, you may know from Doctor Strange, Rogue One, Casino Royale, Valhalla Rising, The Hunt, Hannibal TV show, Arctic, and Another Round. And yeah, he does a great job in this. I always enjoy his performances. He does great actor. We also have Vanessa Hudgens, who plays Camille, and you may have seen her in High School Musical, Breaker, I don't know, Sucker Punch, and Journey 2. And she plays a neighbour of Duncan, who lives in Montana, and they get to know each other, become friends. Our bad guy in this is Blut, who's played by Matt Lucas, and you may have seen him in Little Britain, Bridesmaids, Alice in Wonderland, and yeah, he's the guy that doesn't want to pay the Black Kaiser, and he for some reason thinks he's going to get away with it. And Matt Lucas brings the comedy element to this, and very surreal bad guy, but sort of works in a way for some reason. This whole thing, it's got a bit of comedy, and it's sort of maybe it's taken a lot from the comic book. I'm not sure, or the graphic novel. We have Catherine Winnick playing Vivian, who was in Vikings, Big Sky, Dark Tower, Killers. She plays Blut's number 2, and she's the henchwoman for Blut. And she advised him not to double cross Duncan and to leave him alone. And but for some reason Blut wants to do this, and he wants to take on death himself. We have Camille and Duncan, scenes of Camille and Duncan, talking to each other about their past, especially Camille's past. And there's a funny scene where she advises Duncan to, do a show and tell, and some very funny scenes where he's doing a show and tell and showing the kids his guns. And very funny. Also, keep an eye out for Johnny Knoxville, who's on the start. Who's at the start of this, and he's one of the people getting assassinated by the very colourful gang of hitmen. So we have our Damocles hitmen hunting down, trying to find where Duncan lives, and they eventually do. And yeah, Duncan, of course, one-man army takes them out, and we have Duncan betrayed by a friend, and Richard Dreyfuss plays Porter in this. You may have seen him in Jaws, Close Encounters, and he betrays Duncan. Duncan gets taken to Damocles' mansion and is tortured by Blutt, and eventually escapes. And that's when the action begins. We've got some great shootouts. We've got an army coming after Duncan in a warehouse, and yeah, some good scenes. I wish we had more of those sort of scenes. It does take a while to get going. This movie, we've got a decent scenes in Belarus where Duncan is doing one last job for Blutt, and because he's got 2 weeks left on his sort of schedule, he's not retired for 2 weeks. So yeah, there's a decent pace in this. I suppose in all action movies you want more action, but I think we get enough to see what Polar can do, and yeah, the ending of this movie, of course, Blutt doesn't survive. We get Camille revealing who she is. She is one of the survivors from a Polar hit in the past, and Polar killed her, or Duncan killed her family, and yeah, so that's a big reveal at the end of this, and we have some good dramatic scenes between the two of them, and as I said, this could be a guilty pleasure movie for me. I should be giving it a 3 out of 5, but yeah, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, it'll grow on me, I'd say, after another watch, and yeah, I want to check out the graphic novel Polar Came from the Cold by Victor Santos, and yeah, it's got me interested in this character, and yeah, hopefully there's a sequel. Netflix, come on, do a sequel, because this sets up for a sequel at the end where Camille forgives Duncan and wants to go after the people that he tells her that the hit was a mistake, that he was, it seemed like he wasn't expecting there to be a family there, and the hit wasn't what he thought it was, and it feels like it was a setup, and Camille wants to go after the whoever wanted her father killed, so setting up a sequel there. And yeah, Jonas Ackerland, want to check out Lords of Chaos now and see more of his work, because yeah, it's got me interested in his work now. So yeah, Polar 2019, check it out if you like one-man army, John Wick type movies. Yeah, I suppose Equalizer, that type of movie. You're gonna like this. Or yeah, one thing it reminded me of as well was the sequel to The Punisher, that starred Thomas Jane, and I can't think of the name of it, but it was, yeah, it reminded me of that too. That sort of ultra violence and over the top sort of characters, which yeah, is a bit of a, yeah, it's not your ultra real sort of trying to make comic books into reality. It's sort of keeping a lean towards that sort of comic book style, where the characters are bigger than life. So yeah, Polar, check it out. Fred MacGuffin's Reviewed. Polar.